we'll start by doing the grain down center front, okay? So when I do the grain down center front, I'm gonna do from here to here. Okay, when I do the grain on the side seam, I'll go from here to here. And then when I do the princess seam, the one in the middle, I can do it here, or I could do it here. Okay, so that means you'll do 3 skirts, okay, around 3 sides of the dress form. Okay, so then let's talk about what we're gonna mark here for our grid. You want to, okay, so if I'm gonna start here and go over, then I wanna put my seam line here, okay? So let's go ahead and mark in 1 inch, okay? Let me see if I can, hang on, I do better with the other side, but, okay, so that, all right, and then let me just get this. Okay, that's not great. You guys will do a better job, all right? Okay, so then the next thing, so once I have my 1 inch center front, I am going to, because that's where I want my grain, I also need to do my cross grain, and that's going to be my hip line, okay? Now, you might think, okay, well, let's just measure down and add a few inches. Okay, the problem with that is that if I'm going to create flare here and my hip line drops, I've got to add more, okay? So I'm going to add more like 4 to 5 inches, okay? So if this is 8 and I add 5 or 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, let's add 4 inches and go 12 inches down for the hip line, okay? So I'm going to mark this. First, I'm gonna try and get this. Okay, so I'm gonna go down 12 inches. Okay, I'm gonna do 11 because I need some down there as well. Okay, so I'm gonna mark down 11, and then I'll go ahead and draw across. Okay, all right, so I have my grid lines, okay? So I've got 1 inch, I've got my hip line. Okay, so the next thing is I am ready to put this on the dress form, all right? I'm going to first put a crease where the 1 inch straight line for the center front. And you can iron this, or you can do a few different things. I usually just crease it because it'll usually stay. It's usually on, because it's on grain, it should stay pretty good. Okay, so then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this over here, and I'm going to, look at this nice little pin cushion, and I'm gonna put it right here, okay? So I've got it on center front, and I'm gonna go straight up, okay? I don't want, I mean, you don't want to pull it too tight, but you don't want extra length there, okay? So I've got that. Then I'm going to go ahead and have this go down all the way down center front, okay? Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to do, first of all, you need to have a plan in mind, okay? So on your score sheet, just go ahead and kind of draw your skirt. This one's gonna be a straight grain down center front, so it'll be kind of like this. And then I have to decide how many flare cones I want. So when you build in flare, it's called flare cones. So let's say I want to do like one here and maybe right here or something. And that'll, you know, kind of go down. Okay. what if I want to do 3, or do I want to do 2 big ones? Then you're going to mark along here, okay, where I want to put my flare cones. And an easy way to mark this, so along your waist, mark where you want the flare to come down. I know this might not make sense to you right now, but it will eventually. Okay, so I'm going to put one here. So I'm going to put 2 pins there, because that tells me where I'm going to put in a flare cone. Then I'm going to come over here and do another one on the other side of the princess seam. So I'm just putting in 2 pins, because then it's easy to feel. Okay? Okay, then the next thing, so there's certain steps. So you may want to write these steps down or keep them in your mind. I'll go over them a few times so you can just kind of see what I'm doing the first time.